Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. As you guys know, we recently had a sell-off inside of the market that has brought down the majority of cryptos out there into the red. Is this the short-term top before we have an extended correction of 30 to 40%? Or is this just merely a shakeout before we continue on into this uptrend? Today I want to go through, give you guys some analysis inside of Bitcoin, and then also dive into the low caps because in my opinion, we are seeing a major flippening happening where money is now starting to flood into these low cap coins where we can make massive amounts of profit. Now is a really good time to be studying these low caps because once we can find these good setups and make profit, we can make triple and sometimes even over 10x returns in half the amount of time, which is going to set us up for a lot of profit potential. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Make sure that you guys click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one provided for you here. And always remember, guys, I have the fastest growing and the very best Discord community out there for cryptocurrency, and I would absolutely love it if you guys would join. Currently, we have over 16,000 members, and it's growing so fast. This is a great place where you guys can congregate with the rest of my community, ask questions, share analysis, as well as just talk and engage with everybody that's here talking about crypto. What you guys can do to join is to click inside the description of this video, and there you're going to find the invitation link to my Discord server. Now on the Discord server, I also offer my more exclusive content like the video course and signals. So if you're somebody that wants to get into that stuff early on, my course is 20 educational videos that teach you guys all of my strategies. And the signals are a way for you guys to copy all the trades that I take. I'm going to be doubling the price of the signals at the end of the week. And so if you guys have actually been waiting to get into this, now is the time to do it because you're still going to get that 50% founding members discount. Whereas at the end of the week when my website gets released, I'm going to be closing off that and doubling the prices. So make sure that you guys get access. So make sure that you guys stay all the way to the end of this video because then I'm going to be taking a couple minutes to explain how you guys can get signed up, the pros of doing so, and what it's going to take to get you guys going today. Alrighty guys, we got a lot of really exciting stuff to talk about, lots of new updates on some of these low caps that you guys are already in profit in. So without further ado, let's jump right into it today. Alrighty guys, so here we are. Now quickly before we jump into this video, many of you might be asking, Donovan, why in the hell aren't you wearing a shirt? Well, it's because my muscles are just so big that I felt like I needed to flex on everybody. I'm just kidding. Honestly, I got absolutely fried at the beach yesterday. Super bad sunburn. I can't even wear a shirt and because I got all this aloe vera on my skin, soaking as we speak. So just understand that right now. I'm not trying to flex on everybody like Arnold. Get to the chopper. Alright. So anyways, guys, getting into this Bitcoin analysis, I want to talk to you guys about a little pattern that's been playing out. It's something I already talked about recently. If you follow me on Twitter, you've seen this chart probably. But this is with Bitcoin, guys. You know, we're obviously getting a gnarly rejection right here. Big sell-off here happening right now, and you know it's causing a lot of stress inside of the market. Lots of people are very bearish right now. As always, every sell-off, everybody gets really bearish. Funny how that works. Now, the thing that's interesting here is just how correlated all of these cycles have been to each other. And this is kind of the thing that I've been wanting to update everybody with. Because what we see here is pretty much just a textbook example of all of the other consolidations. Pretty much every single one of these consolidations ends the same way. You know, we start this uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. Eventually we get kind of squeezed up into this rising wedge, and then we sell off, right? We break that trend line, everybody freaks out, and then we start a brand new cycle up in its place. Now, the same thing happened here. We rallied up from prior to COVID. We came right up here around May, and we did the same pattern. The same thing again, guys. It's pretty much the same type of formations that we're seeing here. You know, a little rising wedge, higher highs, higher lows, until we sell through that trend line, kind of round out, and then we do it again. Once again, we're in the exact same situation here. And in fact, if we actually just go and overlay this chart, you guys are going to be able to understand, in my opinion, what is happening pretty easily. Or at least I would hope that you guys can start to make the same assumptions that I do. Because in my opinion, it looks very identical here. And so this is kind of the thing that I have been watching for. I know that my good buddy over at Kevin Spence in Crypto has also been mentioning this, so make sure you guys go check out his channel as well. He was the first person that really started analyzing this fractal that I've noticed besides me, and so, you know, it's really good to see that other people are talking about this because it's kind of obvious. I mean, it's pretty obvious for me at this point anyways. So if we come over here, let's actually compare the two. So what we're seeing right now in the current consolidation, are these two highs, you know, we get this nasty rejection in these two places. So about the same right here. Two highs, rejection here, and then we get this nasty wick right here. The same looking wick happened in both places. This is almost the exact same setup from this point. Now what happens after that, you know, on this one right here, we can see that we had this rising wedge, we sold through that, and then this is where it acted as resistance. This is where everybody was so bearish. Everybody was like, oh no, COVID second wave, we're all dead, right? That's what happened there. Now this time is really no different. We did the same exact thing. We sold through this trend line, we got rejected here, and now we're just kind of coming back down from that. In my opinion, we're about right here. Somewhere in between this, where we're just going to probably start this type of consolidation. Obviously, it can look a little bit different. Kind of what I personally see happening right now, I honestly think that it's going to be likely that we sell off all the way back down to 10.5. Just the way that this is looking, you know, I think it'll look a little bit more droppy to about that 10.5 region. You know, it doesn't have to happen right immediately inside of this move. You know, it is possible we could chop around and then do something like that, right? This is something that I'm going to be watching out for. You know, no matter what the consolidation looks like, I just see too much reasons to be bullish right now. Let's remove these drawing tools. Actually, if you guys would like to take a little screenshot of this so that you can maybe show friends, show whoever, or just have as your own study guide, go ahead, take a screenshot now. Okay. Now, let's go over to the 3-day. I'm going to remove all these drawing tools. Now, this is kind of my big, I mean, this is no new update by any means. Like, Bitcoin stays the same forever. It doesn't really move, and that's why we like Bitcoin, right? Stability inside of the crypto market, which is odd considering this thing is the least stable asset of all time. But, you know, it doesn't matter. We're still going to be here, and we're going to still analyze the same crap because this is what's important right now. Like I stated many times before, this is the same symmetrical triangle that we've been in. Not only have we had a breakout from this downtrend resistance, but we've also flipped this 10.5 level as well. Let's make this a different color. And we're just consolidating kind of in between both. You know, we just broke out. We just broke out of two major levels at once. You know, this little wick down here, in my opinion, that's not a full conformational support and resistance flip. Even though it did flip it, I think that we're going to get one more little sell-off that's going to take us back down to 10.5. And then that's when we're going to get a really, really good buyback. And so this is going to be a great opportunity to just be investing, dollar cost averaging, because this is, honestly, I mean, if you're a conservative trader, if you're a conservative investor, you're going to want to wait for these type of breakouts to happen before you truly start diving into the market. You know, people like us, the Deegan shitcoin gamblers, we were here buying the crap out of this stuff when it was really low. I bought a shiz load all throughout this dip here. It bounced up. COVID, I wish I had more cash to buy more than I was able to, but nonetheless, I still managed to buy some cheap crypto here. And I've just pretty much just been buying up this entire way all the way down. Even at 6K I was buying, 3K I was buying, you know, over here, I was buying throughout this entire dip, bought some COVID, and then I've just kind of been buying all the way back up. Now, the fact that we've broken outside of all of these, I don't need to be buying anymore. My long-term bags are packed. You know, it doesn't make sense for me to continue to buy those long-term positions. If anything, I'll just go and try and trade these low caps, which is what we're going to be diving into in a minute. But guys, just understand, you know, this is just bullish price action. There's literally no different between any of these cycles that we've seen up to this point. And so, in my opinion, we don't really need to get too shaken out, because this is what's going to be coming for us very soon. And I've been very, very adamant about telling you guys that this is the fractal I was watching for, which all it is the consolidation from here up to there. So this entire move, that's all I did. I just overlaid it over this chart, and this is really what I'm expecting it to do. You know, we have this resistance here at 14K. I'm expecting that this next impulse is going to see us break above this. And then at this point, you know, we'll get a support and resistance flip. And once we flip this 14K level, 20K is nothing. It's a fart in the wind. It's a fart in the wind at this point. This isn't big resistance. There isn't a lot of value propping prices up for a rejection here. And the reason for that is because this came into the bubble top. You know, you got to look at it this way. You know, even though the price went up here, it was here for such a short period of time that there really isn't that much demand there. There isn't that much of a supply that's going to be selling down on the market. And so I honestly think that once we clear 14K, we're going to bust through 20,000 very easily. And at that point, that's when we start making the head up to 32 to 34K. I think that 32 to 34K is going to be my next realistic target. I personally will not be looking to take any short-term profits until that point. Unless I'm trading like a short-term market cycle, like some of these low caps. In that case, obviously, I'll post updates inside the Discord, which is why it does pay to get into that Discord so you guys know exactly what's going on. But just by looking at this, guys, we're just starting the next big parabolic advance in this move. And this is where we're going to start to flip 14K. That's going to be the next major level on the list. And it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. Now, let's actually dive into the low cap coins. These are low caps I've already talked about. These are low caps that I know a lot of you guys are invested in. And these are low caps that I'm in profit in. So let's dive into it. First up on the list is the Great Coin Breeder, or Esprit. This is the greatest coin on the list because I love this coin. I got in pretty early, so obviously that is another reason for me loving it so much. But nonetheless, guys, I really do like the fundamental use case that this has. One of the major issues that plagues the current system. Look at the DAO hack that happened way back in Ethereum. And most of you guys probably weren't even around, nor do you even remember what that is if you had just done research. But what the DAO hack was actually where the Ethereum governance system got hacked somehow. Somebody exploited a bug, and they got in with a loophole, and they ended up stealing a ton of the Ethereum. That's what ended up hard forking from Ethereum to Ethereum Classic. So Ethereum Classic is literally the original version of Ethereum. The two dev teams, they got in a big dilemma over should we sacrifice the decentralized aspect of our project in order to fix these issues, or do we just keep going? And then that's where we got the hard fork, because the two developing sides couldn't come to an agreement. So that's why we have ETC and we have Ethereum today. And so this was a big issue that actually happened inside of Ethereum in the early days of 2015, 2016, right? Now, what's interesting is Esprit is actually a way for us to solve this issue. So with the DAO hack, they kind of had to build Ethereum from the ground up. They had to do all of the development, all of the stuff to really just like fine tune what it is today. And, they built it from scratch, from the ground up, right? Now, the issue with this is if there was one little bug, which there was in the DAO hack, that rendered the entire system useless, right? Who the hell uses Ethereum Classic? I don't know anybody. Why would you if there's Ethereum, right? And so that's the important thing to understand. Now, Esprit comes in and solves this solution, because what Esprit is basically like a sandbox. And what a sandbox is just a place for you to test, do little trials, and kind of mess around with things and just experiment, right? And so, you play in a sandbox, you build sandcastles, you got toys and stuff. It's the same concept. So with Esprit, it's actually a sandbox where you can program, you can test, and you can really try and implement different aspects into DAO governance systems. And so I do believe that this one's going to be very, very big over the future, which is why I've gone ahead and invested a pretty decent amount of money into this coin. Obviously, I got in early, so my profits have grown a lot. But this is a coin that I expect to do very well. And what we're seeing right now is just a very, very early cycle. A very early parabolic advance. If I can find a curve right here, I'll show you. This is just a really early cycle, right? This thing's just barely starting to go parabolic. And we're only going to continue to see this happening in more and more cryptos that are out there, right? We're just starting that parabolic advance. We got a lot of new volume that's coming in here. It's starting to break. Well, it's already broken past all-time highs, but we've just continued to get more impulses from that. And so expect this one to continue to do good, guys. There's not a huge circulating supply. On top of that, expect a lot of these to be locked away for different reasons. I don't know if they're going to release staking or anything like that, but nonetheless, it's the idea and the fundamental principle around what Esprit is that I'm excited about. We don't have a platform like this where we can test and run experiments inside of these DAOs. And so, if something happens like the Ethereum DAO hack, you have to just kind of start. You kind of just have to start over and reprogram the whole system. Whereas this, you can already figure out what's working before you actually implement it into your functioning project, right? So watch out for this one. Alrighty, guys, next up on the list is going to be D.I.Y, or D.I.Y, I don't know what the hell you call it, but either way, it's all the same. This is one that I really, really like, and I like this one because it honestly looks a lot like the early Tesla chart. If you guys actually go and look at Tesla right before it just supermoon pumped, you know what, screw it, we'll go look at it right now. So if we come over here and look at Tesla, it's pretty much the same exact pattern right here. This looks exactly the same as D.I.Y. And we can see that we're kind of at this point here where we're about to start making that big parabolic move. And that's honestly one of the biggest reasons why I've been so bullish about this coin, is because it just looks identical to the early cycle in Tesla. And so where we're at right now is pretty much just pre-pump. We've actually flipped the all-time high here. This resistance, I shouldn't even say that's the all-time high because it's not, but we have this resistance here. We are closing above this with candle bodies. As long as we can continue to hold support here, I'm expecting a pretty strong impulse. I definitely think that we're going to be heading upwards of 10 to, $15. One of the interesting things about this chart is notice this big wick over here. Oftentimes when you find these low cap coins and they have these wicks when they first get added to the exchanges, a very large amount of time, I mean, a very consistent amount of time, these things actually end up going all the way up to retest the top of this wick before they end up seeing any type of sell-off. And so for me, I think that I'm going to hold this until we hit this wick. I have no reason not to. I mean, I got in here at 40, or not 40 cents, at $3 exactly. And so I'm in a little bit of profit. Not a ton, but enough that I'm just going to be able to hold this and see what it turns into. But I expect that this next impulse is going to be one that's quick, it's sudden, and it's going to create a lot of profit if you are, in fact, in the winning side. So keep this one on your radar. You know, just to this top of the wick, you know, you're looking at about a 4x return. That's the fun thing about these low caps. This thing's only been on exchanges since the 4th of August, just barely a month, you know, not even a month, about 28 days. And so how crazy is that these little coins can produce such big returns in such a short period of time? That's why we should look into high caps. That's why we should look into low caps. And we're actually seeing a shakeout happening. When Ethereum sold off, when XRP sold off, when Bitcoin sold off, when all these high caps sold off, these low caps actually went up in value. My low cap portfolio went up in value last night. I woke up to more money than I had the day before the sell-off. And so that shows that the hierarchy, Bitcoin leads. Bitcoin tops out, trickles into high caps. High caps pump. High caps fall down, and then it goes into the mid to low caps, right? We're seeing the rise in the low caps right now, so pay attention to them. Alrighty guys, next up is DMG. This is one I've been talking about for a long period of time now. This is really one of the older DeFi coins. I like this one because of the fact this is one of the only genuine DeFi coins that is backed by real collateralized assets. And there's lots of value that's actually backing this coin. You know, there's a lot of coins out there that aren't backed by anything. And obviously, you know, Bitcoin isn't backed by anything, but it's more backed upon like trust and more backed upon just like, you know, the algorithm and the programming of what makes Bitcoin Bitcoin. Whereas this one's actually backed by real assets, real physical assets in the real world, whether it's gold, whether it's a car, it doesn't really matter. It's all just the same stuff, right? There is genuine value backing this coin. Now, because of that, it's also got partnerships with Coinbase. It's got partnerships with Huobi, and the Tim Draper Network is one of the prime investors into this. I am expecting this one to turn out the same as Compound. Very similar. They're pretty much the exact same idea. I expect it to do the same, and I'm betting on this one getting listed to Coinbase. And that's kind of why I've invested into this, is because it's only got like 50, 60 mil market cap, somewhere right around that number. And, you know, when this thing really starts to take off, you know, by buying now before a Coinbase listing, when this thing gets added to Coinbase, if it does, in theory, you know, that's going to create a lot of hype. And so we can make a lot of money off of this one. Now, this is called DeFi Money Market or DMG Governance. I really do like this one a lot. Just an early cycle, like I've stated many other times. This is just the first little impulse. We had this descending resistance. In my opinion, we are now above it. There's a lot of volume that's coming in here with this most recent breakout. You know, we've maintained support above this level for a long period of time now. I think that it's more likely that this is going to hold at this point, especially with what we're seeing in a lot of the other low caps. So this is one I think we should keep on our list. Realistically, to me, you know, with how this thing looks, it's just so early. Nothing's really even happened. You know, it's only been around since the 10th of June. I didn't start buying it until about the end of June, close to that 1st of July, and I bought mine at 85 cents. So I'm pretty much at the same point that I started buying in. I bought a lot down here at close to $1.09. So I'm pretty much packed, ready to go. I think that this one very easily could be at $10. You know, that seems more than realistic to me. And in fact, I see this one going much higher than that because there isn't that many in the circulating supply. On top of that, the partnerships that it has, it's got more partnerships than more coins out there. I'm going to trust that. I'm going to have faith in it. I'm going to see what happens. So pay attention for DMG. Alrighty guys, next up on the list is YFL. You know, I actually had an idea to post this one inside of the signals, but I completely forgot about it, but I ended up actually buying a little bit. It wasn't even that much, so I mean, you know, I'm in some profit, but it's nothing like I'm super filthy rich. So, you know, if you missed out on this one, I'm sure you've heard a lot about it. You know, I was actually able to manage to buy some down here at about $120, and so I'm actually in over 10x return profit, but I didn't buy that much, so I mean, it's whatever. But I actually forgot to post this one in the signals. This is going to be one of the only ones that isn't actually already posted in the signals. But this is one that I expect to continue to keep going up. You know, it doesn't look like it's anywhere close to being done. Surely you guys have heard of Yearn Finance, how it hit $1 billion of market cap. You know, it went from like $30 to, you know, 36K or 40K, something like that. And, you know, this one only has 75,000 total circulating supply. And so this one is going to be one that performs well. I honestly think that we're going to see this one about $5,000, somewhere close to that. I do strongly believe we'll be able to see an impulse up to that level because there just isn't that much in the circulating supply. It doesn't take as much money flooding into this. On top of that, this is basically the exact same thing as YFI. It's just chain link orientated. I don't know, guys. I'm not big into fundamentals, but I know that this just looks like a pretty early cycle. And so watching this, I'm expecting that this one's going to keep going up. I want to talk about this one because I've had a lot of people asking me questions about it. What about YFI? What about YFL? What about YFV? What about YFIII the third? Esquire. All of these dumb coins, they just make a new one, copy, clone, rinse, and repeat, right? But these are ones that are pumping. And so I wanted to give you guys an update. Realistically, to me, this just looks like, once again, an early cycle. This is our 1 wave. This could very easily be our 3 wave. And then we could be just finishing the 5. This could be the cycle high. If, in fact, we aren't going higher. In my opinion, I think we go higher, though. I think that it's more likely that this was our 1. And we're still working on the 3 wave. I don't know where it's going to top out, but I still believe that we're working on that 3. Maybe we run up to $3,000 before we top out. Then we kind of sell back down a little bit. But even then, I still think that we're going to get another 5-wave impulse that could very easily take us upwards of $5,000. And so these are coins that I expect to continue to do really well. We already saw what happened to Urine Finance, how parabolic it went. Just watch out for these because you never know what could happen. And the way that this is looking, this thing just barely started going parabolic, right? I mean, it looks kind of weird to say that because it's shot up so high. But this was us kind of creating an uptrend, a steady uptrend. And then this was a nice blow off top. This very easily could be the blow off top, or this could just be the beginning of another bigger parabolic move. So I just wanted to give you guys some basic analysis with that. Overall, I'm going to continue to hold mine. It's just house money at this point. I've made a decent amount off of it, off of a small investment that I've already cut off my initial fee. And so whatever I'm holding is just pure profit at this point. If it goes down, crashes to 0, it's whatever. I still got my initial entry fee. If it goes up, Supermoon's far harder. At least I'm just making some money. So watch out for this one. Now, next up on the list is going to be Unitrade or Trade. I absolutely love the fundamental perspective on this one. Unitrade right now, Uniswap right now is such an issue when it comes to, it's just highly volatile. The fees are really high from Ethereum, but more or less you can't really set a buy order. You can't set a stop loss. You can't do any of that stuff. And so people that are kind of using Uniswap are more or less gambling. And I don't think anybody should be using Uniswap unless you've got enough money that you can just kind of play around with and just kiss it goodbye. Because the fees are so high right now because of gas. On top of that, you can't set stop losses, so you can't really trade these things. It's more just trying to buy before everything gets pumpy and then sell into the hype, right? That's the way that you can do this. So if you're somebody with a small amount of portfolio size, I probably wouldn't be trying to do this because the fees are high and it's just not going to make you that much money. Now, Unitrade solves this. Unitrade is going to be a second layer over Uniswap, where we can actually set buy orders, sell orders, stop and limit orders, and we could actually trade on Uniswap. How crazy is that? If the fees don't kill Uniswap beforehand, this thing's really going to help and produce a lot more value and a lot more adoption inside of Uniswap. And so for that, we're seeing another big impulse. When I look at this, it's just an early cycle. For me, I don't think I actually posted this one inside of the signals. I bought this one at 10 cents. This made our first little impulse up here, 135. So that means that this was our 1 wave. And now we're working on the 3 wave. Whether that was the 3 wave top, personally, I don't think it was. I think it's more likely that we're going to continue to go up a little bit higher. But either way, guys, we're just working on this short-term impulse. And we can see wave 1 was here. This could be wave 3. We could still get one more bigger impulse to come up before we top out here. Nonetheless, guys, expect a lot more growth inside of this market cycle. Like I said, with this just being an early layer over Uniswap, Uniswap is getting more volume than Coinbase Pro, majority of other centralized exchanges out there. And so because of that, people are going to continue to adopt it over here. And this is a part that's going to be a key factor into actually being able to utilize Uniswap in a way that traders can adopt it. And so, watch out for this. I expect this one to continue to do good. Personally, I'm not going to be selling until $5 to $10 because, I see this just doing too phenomenal. I got it at 10 cents, so basically the ground floor. I'm already up over 10x. So, at this point, I've already cut my initial fee off, letting the profits ride and just see what happens. So make sure that you guys pay attention to this. Alrighty guys, next up on the list is going to be YFV. We posted signals for this, and I've made videos about this guy inside of the you guys actually saw this on YouTube. Now, I talked about this one on YouTube right over here, right before we kind of had a sell-off. So I know a lot of you guys kind of bought towards this cycle high. Maybe some of you guys got in a little bit earlier. I already told you that where I bought was down here at $8. You know, I bought $8, almost the exact bottom of this thing. I saw it selling off right here. I knew that it had YFV in its name. I saw that YFI was at $5 grand, and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta buy it. So I bought it. And thankfully for me, I kept holding on to it because now, you know, we're up quite a bit as far as profit goes. For my initial entry fee, you know, we're looking at about 600% thus far, and I don't think that this is slowing down yet. We just broke out of the all-time high. You know, this was a pretty major resistance level considering it was the high, and we've retested it as support, and now we've actually got another impulse, and this one is actually retesting this high as support. And so this is only going to continue to keep going up. Notice this big wick right here. I love wicks because oftentimes it shows the direction the price is going to go, specifically in low cap coins. I mean, if you're trading wicks and you look at a big market cap coin and it shows this big nasty wick, oftentimes that's going to show downside. But these low caps, you know, this is people market buying. This is whales market buying the crap out of this stuff and causing so much slippage. Or sometimes it's just some idiot buying at a really high price that they didn't mean to. That's also another factor. And so one thing I've noticed is oftentimes when you see wicks like this, it kind of pinpoints the direction the market's going to go. And so for this one, you know, I think that this one has a really good chance considering it's just following YFI. It's called following YFL. And this one's just YFV. You know, expect this one to continue to do good. What this reminds me of is actually the very early altcoin cycle. And if I actually show that to you guys, you'll start to understand. So if we throw it back to the early days, you know, this is what we're going to see here. Notice this pattern right here. I'm going to remove this shit because we don't need to see that. Notice this pattern here. This rally and then the retest of the highs as support, and then we get into the real parabolic movement, right? Look how identical this little setup is to YFV. The exact same setup right here. We impulse, you know, we break out, flip this all-time high as support, and now we're getting the real parabolic movement. This, in my opinion, is just a little short-term A, B, C correction before we seriously start just pumping, right? Pumping. Going to the pump house, baby. Right? Watch out for this one, guys. These YFVs, the Yearn Finance, all of these finance coins, these ones are doing good. You know, I don't really know a lot about them. I just know that it all has to do with yield farming. Yield farming right now is the move. Find these coins, not the yield farming coins. Don't go buy all these random coins that are called food items because, like, you know, they're literally farming those for free and then dumping them on you. By you buying these pastas, by you buying these tacos, you know, whatever the hell they are. There's so many different ones out there. By you guys buying those, you're literally buying from a farmer that's selling his that he's just earning from farming. You don't want to do that. You want to farm those if you're going to do that. That's the thing. You guys got to go farm the ones that are producing the highest yields and then dump those quick. Dump it on the market because the people that are buying all these random shit coins, they're merely buying it from farmers that are dumping on them. Understand that. Be warned for the people that didn't understand that. You don't want to go through. I know that I talked about spaghetti on this. I posted a signal for spaghetti. It's up like 5x right now. But, you know, I understand the way this works. And so we just got to make sure that we're in and out with this stuff quick. But this is kind of all of this type of stuff that's been going up. Yearn's been going crazy. YFV is going to start going crazy. So watch out for this one too. Alrighty, guys. Next up on the list is going to be perks. I like this one. You know, I bought some more down here. Pretty much where we're at. I might actually even be at a loss at this point already. But I started buying all the way up here. So I was at a loss here. I bought more at the same level. It was at 0.08, so about here. And I bought some more down here at 0.05. So, you know, pretty much I'm just bag holding losses at this point from this thing. But I still like this setup. And I think it's going to perform well if we just are willing to hold through that. It's a big A, B, C correction. Technically, we could still go for one more low, which right now, so we have this descending resistance. We broke from it right here. Right? And we're kind of just selling off. So we could get one more low that retests this previous descending resistance as support. And then we're going to get a spring-loaded bounce after that. And so this is one that I think is going to do really well. I don't really know anything about it other than the fact I guess you get less gas fees or something like that. But from where we're sitting at today, you know, you're looking at 2.5x just to the high that, you know, it made on the 10th of August. And so it's only been here since the 4th, about a month. This thing's been consolidating. It's already added to Poloniex. I'm sure it's going to get added to more exchanges. This one's going to be doing really well. You know, if it falls down for one more low, I'm going to buy more. If it doesn't, so be it. I've already bought so much that I'm in a loss, but I just want to keep kind of accumulating this one because it's such good ROI just to that high. And this thing's going to far surpass that. This is just an early cycle, guys. This means nothing. We're going to see this thing really just start to go crazy. And if we're in at the ground floor on this stuff, you know, this is where we make those 10x returns. I'm dead serious. This is exactly how it happens, is in these low cap coins. We get our long-term holds and our high caps. We forget about those, let them go, lock them up in cold storage. And with these ones, these are the ones where we're kind of just messing around, small amounts of money, and then we're just flipping that, turning it into 10x, turning it into 10x, 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 right? That's the goal here. So watch out for perks. Last up on the list is going to be or Mantra DAO. This is kind of the DAO system for Polkadot. I really think that this one's going to do good. Anything Polkadot related is doing phenomenal. Obviously, it just jumped into the top 10 market cap. So pay attention for these. To me, when I look at this, nothing's happened. Literally just consolidation. You know, one day, out of the blue, this thing's going to start pumping. And if we're not ready for it beforehand, what in the hell happened? And if we're not ready for it beforehand, we're going to miss out on this type of action because this is what happens with these low caps. When they move quick. You don't want to be stuck on the sidelines. You don't want to mess around. You don't want to wait. You want to get in, get out quick. And right now is still the time to be getting in. So I just wanted to go through, guys, give you guys some updates on these low caps. These are coins that I've talked about. These are coins that I'm in profit in. You know, these are coins that are going to continue to go up, in my opinion. Whether we experience a short-term sell-off or not, it literally doesn't matter. You know, if we look at Bitcoin, sure, we're getting a little bit of a sell-off, but this is no different than any of the other sell-offs. We're breaking out of major descending resistances. There's only more reasons to be bullish, right? So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sorry I don't have a shirt. Like I stated, sunburned ASF. Got to put on some nice and moisturizing aloe vera. But now, quickly, before we wrap things up, I want to take a couple minutes to explain how you guys can sign up for the video course and signals, because you guys got to remember, I'm going to be doubling the prices on the signals by the end of the week. As soon as the website's released, the signals will be doubled, and it's going to go from $1,000 to $2,000. It's lifetime access, so it really does pay to get in early with this stuff. You'll be able to make a lot of money off these calls, and that's the fun part, guys. You're copying my analysis. You're getting in at the ground floor with this stuff. You guys would have bought YFV at the bottom. You guys would have got into some of these other coins. Specifically like DMG down here at 85 cents. You would have got into D.I.Y at 30 cents. And all of these coins, literally every single thing that you guys hear about me talking about on this channel, you're getting in at the ground floor. You're knowing exactly when I enter, what price, what time I'm scaling out, where I'm moving profits to, all of these types of things, right? Now, on top of that, I also offer the video course, which is 20 educational videos that are going to teach you guys how to actually trade these markets. So if you're somebody that doesn't want to copy my portfolio, the trades that I take, you'd rather just, you know, learn how to do this on your own, the video course is going to be the thing for you. Some of you guys would rather like to purchase those together or separate. You can do either. The links are going to be in the description of this video, where you can actually find my link to my Selly, my merchant, where you can purchase credit or debit. If you guys would rather purchase in crypto, you can message me on Discord by clicking inside of the description of this video, and there you're going to find the invitation link. Now, once you guys have access, just shoot me a message or shoot any of the 6 moderators a message, and we will all be here to help you guys get started on the right path of profiting today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for the support. I also wanted to mention that at 50K subscribers, which we're so close, we only need like 2.3 left. At 50K subscribers, I'm also going to be giving away 2 copies of the signals. So if you guys would actually want to get in on that, you know, just understand I'm going to be posting on Twitter. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. Links are once again in the description of this video, because I'm going to be giving it out to 2 of you lucky subscribers that have supported me for all this time. So with all that being said, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. I will catch you in the next video. As always, peace out.